Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. What do you get when you cross a showrunner that destroys a franchise and leaves the fans in utter disarray? You get what you chuffing deserve. That's what you get. The ratings, the consolidated ratings are now in for Doctor Who Series 12, Episode 10, and they're glorious. Glorious not as in good, glorious as in horrifically bad. The worst rating of New Who to date. Peter Capaldi's one episode had a rating of 4.71 million. That was the current lowest singular episode of New Who Consolidated. It's lower than that, folks. Shall we reveal it all? But 4.55. Cliff fallen, dropped off, dead, dodo, thanks, chibs. You get what you deserve. I am ecstatic for this reaction. Ecstatic. Because, as you'll be aware, there's a lot of angry people about what Chibnall has done with Doctor Who's history. Trying to hide behind the Morbius thing, which doesn't hold up at all. Balstrek did a very good episode, a very good video about that. The faces that you saw in that episode were actually the faces of Morbius. They weren't the faces of the Doctor. Tenuous at best, but he wanted to try and use that as an excuse to just wipe out 12 white boys. Because the BBC in current day is run by a bunch of far left crazies. Crazies. Who think that they can retroactively change history. And they can't. Instead of looking to the future, let's tear down the past. Let's tear down everything that people have loved for 57 years because they don't align with our current day sensibilities. Because the BBC is a pile of shit. Stop paying your TV license. Go on the exemption form if you must, but just stop watching terrestrial television. Get your fixes through Netflix and streaming services. Stop paying the BBC. They don't represent the British public. They represent a proportion, a small proportion. A proportion that's seen millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of viewers leave the show since the start of the Chibs Whittaker run to current day. This episode has been absolutely 100% rejected. So much so, it couldn't even muster close to 1 million in Consolidated. Couldn't even muster that. Whereas Capaldi was getting somewhere in the region of 1.7 to 2 million in the Consolidateds. Because people, although they weren't watching live, they were going, fine, it's okay. We'll come back and watch it during the week before the next episode. We'll catch up. Because the casual audience, who didn't have to see it immediately, still wanted to see it before the next episode. I'll catch up. I have the facility with the iPlayer to catch up. Nobody wants to catch up with this show. And this consolidated number is so poor because people clearly heard what happened to the Doctor. And so they thought, why would I watch? Why would I go to the iPlayer and watch the show when all they've done is just destroy 57 years of history because a bunch of pricks at the BBC have got a load of white guilt? Never mind that the people who took on those roles were amazing actors. Never mind that there were amazing stories told in incredible times with low budgets, and they still provide huge amounts of enjoyment to people today. No. What people heard and saw was the Doctor is no longer special. The Doctor isn't 10 or 9 or 4 or 3. The Doctor is 72,328,428,000. The Doctor isn't special anymore. And that's the funny thing. Because Dr. Ruth, Dr. Joe, whatever, who was a complete waste of space in this series, she was only there in the Matrix to say to the Doctor, well, it doesn't matter really, does it? It doesn't matter really, does it? Has it ever mattered to you who you are? It doesn't matter really, does it? And do you know what? It did matter! It mattered a lot. It mattered a lot to the people that had invested decades of love and money and time and effort. People have been sending me emails of bloody TARDISes, which they handcrafted. People sending me stories about how upset they are, how sad they are. And I've been sending messages back, trying to reconcile these people. Trying to at least keep them buoyed. But the one thing that I do say is this episode, reject it. Reject it. Because it was clear from the writing of this episode that Chibnall didn't do anything with his characters. He didn't do anything with his doctors. He just showed us a bunch of colours. That was all. Because that's the current day BBC. None of them said anything. Not even Tecteun, the murdering cow. And I was watching a stream last night. I fell asleep during it. That's no shade, guys. That's because it was really late in the UK. You know that. But I managed to catch some of it before I drifted off. And it was wonderful to drift off to this podcast with Nerdrotic and Doomcock. That's a great name. And they were saying, can't wait for the new line of Doctor Who toys to come out. We can have a bunch of children getting sliced up and murdered by Tecteun. Here's the Doctor on the operating table, being constantly murdered over and over and over again. With a character that Chibs pushed as a pioneer of science. People saw through this episode. And the BBC might not care. The BBC don't care at all. They don't care how you feel. They don't care that they've destroyed the show. The seed has been planted and they get your license fee anyway. And they've signed their international deals to get other monies. So the BBC doesn't give a fuck. And that's why we had those pathetic standard replies from them. But the funny thing is that they've had to issue 2 statements this season on Doctor Who. And the show, which they say is being well received, is so well received they've had to put these statements out. This show that is so well received has posted the lowest ever rating of New Who on the origin story of the Doctor. Because people saw exactly what this was. Virtue signalling trash by disgusting, horrible, narcissistical, twisted people who are more than happy to tear down people's love of the series to implant their own agenda. Look how it worked out for you. And here's another little nugget of sunshine for these people. The Christmas special is already in the can. It's already made. They're not going to change it. So don't expect anything from that other than the bastardization of more Daleks, most likely. But I don't care because I won't be watching it. And the next series isn't due for release until autumn of next year. Approximately a year and a half away, 18 months. Just think of how many people in those 18 months are gonna lose any shits whatsoever about this show. Because the more that time goes on, the less shits people give. And now that we have this origin story, and now that it's clearly been rejected by the viewership, good luck. Good luck getting them to tune in. Hey folks, next season we've got lots of Doctor Who enemies that you love. Don't give a shit, fuck off. Because you fundamentally destroyed the keystone of the franchise, the Doctor, because you wanted to erase 12 white men. You disgust me. You are disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, the BBC, I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier if I tried right now. It's a ray of sunlight in what's been a really... And I know it's such a first world issue, but this is a beloved show, and we're losing fandoms left, right and centre at the minute because these filthy people have got themselves in positions of power, all of them. Marvel Comics, bloody DC, Star Wars, Doctor Who. These filth individuals, they've got their stinking claws in and they want to tear it all down in the name of patting themselves on the back for progressiveness, which only exposes them as the racists and sexists and bigots that they truly are, because they are the people that can't get past gender, can't get past colour, and can't get past sexuality. Well done. Well done, Chibs. Well done. You are going to forever be known as the person that destroyed Doctor Who. What an accolade. Wear it well. It suits you. It suits your doctor. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.